The death toll due to the powerful quake that hit Japan on New Year's Day now nears 50. NHK reports that authorities confirm at least 48 deaths so far, all in Ishikawa Prefecture. Many of those are in Wahima, another hard-hit city on the remote northern tip of the Noto Peninsula. Rescue teams on Tuesday are still struggling to reach isolated areas where buildings have been toppled, roads wrecked, and power cut to tens of thousands of homes. The quake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.6 struck in the middle of the afternoon on Monday, prompting residents in some coastal areas to flee to higher ground as tsunami waves hit Japan's west coast, sweeping some cars and houses into the sea. More than 140 tremors have been detected since the quake first hit, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency. The agency has warned more strong shocks could hit in the coming days. President Bongbong Marcos offers assistance to Japan after it was struck by a massive earthquake on New Year's Day. In a post on X, Marcos Jr. expresses his sadness over the earthquake incident. Marcos says the Philippines readily offers its assistance to Japan in any possible way it can, adding that they are already in close collaboration with the Japanese government to secure the welfare of Filipinos who remain unharmed from the incident. The president visited Japan last December for the ASEAN-Japan Summit, where bilateral environmental and Coast Guard agreements were signed. The Department of Health logs first cases of fireworks-related death and stray bullet injury. The death victim was a 38-year-old male from Ilocos region who lit a cigarette while drinking near a bunch of firecrackers in storage. Meanwhile, a 23-year-old male from Davao region sustained a gunshot wound in his left upper back. The department reminds the public that guns, liquor, and fireworks should never mix. As of January 2, there are 212 new cases of fireworks-related injuries, bringing the total to 443. This number is already higher than the 307 FWRI during 2022. The new cases include patients ranging from 1 to 71 years old, mostly male, with most patients coming from the National Capital Region. Overseas Filipino workers may soon face difficulties in remitting money if the Philippines fall into the Financial Action Task Force's blacklist. In a palace briefing, Anti-Money Laundering Council Executive Director Matthew David says the government is doing what it can to remove the Philippines from the gray list, indicating that the country must step up its efforts to combat money laundering and terror financing. David explains that one of the repercussions of being included in the blacklist is the effect it has on the remittances transactions of OFWs to their families in the Philippines.
We don't want to be in the blacklisted jurisdiction. And if we will be in the blacklisted list, there are repercussions to that. And one of the repercussions is the effect on our transactions of our OFWs. Our OFWs usually send remittances to their families here in the Philippines.
David clarifies that the country is not yet blacklisted, but is on FATF's gray list, adding that the FATF will impose countermeasures on the Philippines and international financial transactions of Filipinos abroad.
If we will be blacklisted, we are not yet blacklisted, we are still gray listed right now. The FATF will impose countermeasures on the Philippines and international financial transactions of Filipinos abroad.
The Philippines landed on FATF's gray list in 2021 after the international agency's evaluation of the country's measures against money laundering. The FATF initially gave a deadline of January 23, but it has yet to change the Philippines listing. The government's self-imposed deadline is January 2024. The Department of Tourism says the Philippines' tourism industry has been recovering faster than expected since taking a hit during the height of COVID-19 pandemic. In its year-end report, DOT recorded over 5.4 million tourists from January 1 to December 31, 2023. This figure is around 650,000 more than the DOT's projected 4.8 million international visitors for 2023. In early December last year, the DOT announced it had breached the 5 million mark for foreign tourist arrivals. The report adds that among 5.4 million visitors, 91.8% were foreigners while 8.20% were overseas Filipinos. South Koreans have been the country's largest market for international visitors with 26.41% of their total foreign visitors, followed by the Americans, Japanese, Australians, and Chinese. The report also notes the country's international receipts have surged to an estimate of 482.54 billion pesos in 2023, about 124.87% higher than the estimated 214.58 billion pesos in 2022.